this?
Oh my goodness. I had, I was doing Iron Man.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, that gets taken away. We did a 3-picture deal with Marvel, a 3-picture deal, $4.5 million for the first one, 7.5 to 8 million for the second one, 12 million for the third. We signed it. They come back to me the week that my mother dies, and they called my agent Charles King he was at William Morris at the time, and they said, yeah, we want Terrence, but we want to come back for $1 million instead of the 8 million that we had agreed to. And my agent had an emotional reaction to a business decision, and he said, F you, and hung up the phone. Well, immediately they go to Don Cheadle. Oh. But instead of just doing that, they had to spin, he was terrible on set and all of these things, and went through all this stuff. And I'm calling Robert Downey Jr. I'm calling him because when I was doing the Brave one with Jodie Foster, Susan Downey was a producer with Joe Silver. She comes over to my trailer and she's like, wow, it's so amazing. Congratulations on Iron Man. It's the first time they've hired the second lead before they've hired the first. But Robert wants to go in there. And they were talking about Clive Davis and all of that. And I was like, okay, great. I'm just moving along doing my thing. And she was like, but Robert really wants to go in, but they won't see him. And I was like, I love Robert. I love what he does. I loved him in Weird Science. I loved him.
Who did they want?
They wanted Clive Davis to play him. Because remember, in the series, War Machine was supposed to take over.
Right.
And I'm like, well, if Robert wants to come in, so I called Avi Arad immediately. He was the producer on it. And I'm like, Avi, I hear Robert wants to come in, but you guys won't even let him audition. He's like, no, we can't bond him. I'm like, instead of the 4.5 you want to give me, why don't you take $1 million for the bond for him? If he gets, and let him audition, and so he gets the part. Robert is like, I love you, thank you so much, da 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 da. Well, when this other thing happened, I'm calling Robert, and he's doing Sherlock Holmes. I called him 27 times. And I'm like, and leave a message. I'm calling his assistant. I'm like, I need the help I gave you. I didn't hear from him until 3 years later. I bumped into him at Brian Grazier's wedding. Ooh. And then, but at that time I'd had Empire or whatever, and I came back, and he was like, oh, but everything worked out for you. Mm. And, that broke me a little bit, but I know how hard Robert had it.
Coming out of jail.
Coming out of that jail. And so if I had to sacrifice myself in order for that, because guess what? If Euclid or any of them had discovered one of the wave conjugations, they would have been happy. I was given not just the one, I was given the entire electric field and magnetic field and the constitution between them. So I was given so much more. And my wife, when she first saw the mirror all shape, if you open it up, you'll see it's right here. My wife looked at this, the feminine side, because that's all I had really gotten to at that point. And she was like, this is what you'll be remembered for, and your acting will be just a footnote. And, she nursed me back to life because I was angry. I was really angry. And I was going to use all of the knowledge that I had, and I was going to destroy mankind.
Like, oh my God! Right out of Marvel.
I was like, yeah, I was about to, but then.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Now I know I'm here to help mankind. This is, have the universities check out what I'm doing.
Well, it's one of the most fascinating things about this is that it's so easy to ridicule when an actor has something that's outside of acting that changes everything.
But look,
if you were just a person who went to school, became fascinated with these concepts, became obsessed, and made it your life's work. And, maybe you acted in college a little bit. No one would care.
No.
But you had become successful as an actor.
As a bad guy.
Yes. And then you'd gone through all that bullshit. So you gone through all that bullshit, and now they're like, no, that guy, there's no way.
Those are threshold guardians, though.
Yes.
It's a necessary step for it. I would gladly trade whatever $100 million I would have made doing that for this right here. What I've been able to do right here. Like I said, when Tesla said, if mankind could understand the significance of 3, 6, and 9.5 keys to the universe, will you play that video for me, Jamie? Yeah, the linchpin bonding. I think it'll be, well, there's 3 of them. Yes, that one right there. Now, before we play it, if you count the struts and watch how many struts bond as it becomes this right here.
Okay.
And just count it as it goes. Just let it play. You'll see 1, 2, 3. And we know this is a magnetism because it's expanding in the center. Now you'll see 6 of these bonds. And those colors going across there is basically the periodic table. 5, 6, yep. And then the last one comes in, and now you have your 9. And this is magnetism. Like I said, magnetism expands at the center. So you have your 3, 6, 9, and it's back to that same fractal